Hello, friends. I was thinking about the power of focus and attention and how I have to, I guess, preface this with saying that I haven't watched the news for 15 years and I don't read the news. And how many people allow their reality to be interpreted through somebody else's eyes or authority or the news. And they actually don't live in reality at all. Like they're not experiencing it themselves, but they're experiencing it through a perception and belief system that has been adopted or they just fell into and settled into. And how important it is to reclaim our power of having our own experience of reality and our own interpretation of it, and really sifting through the beliefs that we have adopted through familial and cultural conditioning, religious education, any kind of education, the belief systems that other people try to impose on us, or the news, or entertainment, and I really be very vigilant of what do I want to believe in, and how do I want to experience my reality, and is what I'm experiencing really something that's true for me, or am I just going through life mindlessly, simply agreeing with what everybody else is saying and not thinking and feeling for myself? And it's interesting how some people never take time for introspection. They just flow from one activity to the other. But when we take time to actually think and feel, what happens is we have an experience and then we have to embody that experience and really sit with it, whatever it is, even like the smallest of experiences. And if we don't give that time for reflection and for that experience to settle into us, and we immediately rush into the next experience, we don't ever actually have the embodiment practice of those experiences, and we don't have the time to think and feel them fully and kind of sit with, is this something that I want to keep experiencing? Is it something that I liked? Do I want more of it, or do I not like it? And that's very important, and that's where art comes from also. uh, I always say that, but it's something that stuck with me from my romantics professor when he was explaining about the romantics and how they take time to experience the sublime, usually like some scene in nature, and then they would sit with that experience for days. And from sitting with what they had experienced, which the experience could have been a moment, like a glimpse of a rainbow for a minute, and then sitting with that experience for a couple of days. And then it gets like filtered through you, and you can see it from many angles and really like feel it settle in your body. And from processing it, the art comes, and you can describe it in such a way that you can actually convey the feeling sense of that experience to whoever reads your writing or looks at your painting. And how in today's world where everything is so rushed and we glorify being busy and people constantly seek to occupy themselves, and we have the internet naturally, so you can scroll through information and watch information, and we're consuming the importance of stillness and quiet and really like taking things in and processing. and slowing down life, that life itself becomes a meditation, which does not mean that it has to be the slow paced thing. But when we experience something, we need time for the processing, and depending on the experience, sometimes we need longer time to process. And when we live like that, then we're actually living and thinking and feeling, which I believe that's what we're here for. We have all of these beautiful capacities. And without introspection, without downtime, without solitude, without aloneness, life is very surface. It's just the next fad and the next trend and whatever was on the news, and it's raining, it's sunny, we're going to this place, bar, vacation, game, and then we're going to this and we're going to that. And no wonder people are neurotic, frantic, anxious, scared, nervous, because they don't have a sense of self. They don't know themselves. They don't know anything. When we don't spend time for introspection and getting to know ourselves, we're at the mercy of outside environments and conditions. But when we take time to actually feel and process life and get to know ourselves, we tap into our inner power, and we can learn to direct our thoughts and feelings. We can learn to create with them. We can get to know more about what do we really like, what do we really desire. And sometimes our desires could be totally opposite to what society wants us to desire, what our family wants us to desire, what our peers want us to desire, what our culture wants us to desire. And to me, that has been really important. At one point, I realized I'm living this life, I have everything that I'm supposed to want, and there's this terrible emptiness. And since then, it's been a search and experiencing experiences that I think like, oh, this sounds good, and this sounds nice, and just following that trail of desire, and also feeling deeply grief and loss and anger and fear, and learning how to process those feelings and alchemize them, and getting to know myself on such deeper levels. So